Hey, what's up, iPhone and iPod Touch users? This is Jared with the iPhone App Podcast, and we're going to take a look at Beer Bounce, which is a game basically called Quarters in a sense. If you've ever played Quarters, it's a drinking game. And so from the very beginning here, you get to choose the type of coin that you are going to use. So I'm going to choose the quarter US tender, and it's going to load up a nice little table here, which the graphics on this are great. I love this app. This is so much fun. If you go out with some friends and you're at a bar, typically you're not going to be able to play quarters at a decent bar because quarters are going to be flying everywhere and your bartender's going to want to kick you out, or he's going to get mad and somebody's going to take your quarter and then you're going to get in a fight. But this is going to help you out because you and your buddies can use this app and actually play quarters. So you basically drag the quarter and slam it down and it will bounce, which I think is great. So you could do multiple turns with this. I'm obviously not that good. I would be drunk in no time. You could use, multiple players with this and have some, whoops, didn't mean to do it that easy. And use this as a fun game to play with some friends. And it's pretty realistic. I mean, if you fling the quarter down and it lands on its flat edge, it's not going to bounce very high. So it's a pretty realistic, in a sense. And I love how the camera is very 3D, and the camera zooms around and follows the right over the top. The camera follows the quarter. I think that this game is really good for it being an inexpensive game. It's just a blast. So you also have this button up here in the top corner, which is going to take you back and start the game over. So you could change quarters or go to a different, if you're drinking a import beer, you could always change the quarter to reflect what you are drinking. So obviously this is pretty difficult, and the game of quarters is pretty difficult. That's why it's such a fun drinking game to play, because you usually get hammered pretty fast. So this is a fun game. It's not, it doesn't react to, the phone being turned or whatever. So after you've lost several times, it's not really going to affect your game, if you can't hold the phone straight. So yes, it's a fun game, and I thought I was going to make it. I feel like I really need to make one of these in before this app review is over, otherwise you guys are going to think that I'm horrible. Oh yes, look at that. Look at that. It even shows you the glory of the quarter being in there. So that's awesome. I think this is a fun game. This is a total fun game to play when you're out with some friends and having a couple of beers. But of course, you need to be responsible, because playing a game like that, those of you who played quarters before know that you can get drunk relatively fast, and that's not good. We're all about making it home safe and making the road a safe place to drive. So GoDaddy.com here is one of our sponsors. If you want to save a little bit of money and help support the iPhone App Podcast, you can go and spend some money on a domain name or something like that over at GoDaddy.com and use one of these coupon codes, because it's going to save you a little bit of money, and it's going to let GoDaddy know that we sent you, which is super important. So check that out. And then, of course, I sponsor this podcast with my time and my efforts, and I am a web designer and wedding photographer. So you can actually go check out my website here, jaredhill.com, which is me, and see some of my portfolio. So if you or your business is ever in need of a website, or somebody that you know is getting married, I would love to be able to help you out with that. So that's going to do it for today's podcast. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Go over to the iPhoneAppPodcast.com, check out the website, subscribe on iTunes if you have not yet by going to iTunes and doing a search in the music store for iPhone app podcast, and you will see us. Hit subscribe. It's free. Everything about this is free and fun community for all of us. So we'll see you next time. Take care.